What is up, people, and thank you so much for listening in to this episode of the New Generation Hero Talk podcast. I am your host, EJ Stewart, and welcome to our YouTube viewers over on New Generation Media, who are getting the first part of this podcast where we talk about the Avengers Endgame trailer. I'm excited to do this podcast as always. I'm joined by my co-host Shamari, who's in studio, and Kendall is here via remote over in Philadelphia, so you'll be hearing from him in a second, but I want to bring in Shamari first. Obviously, this is a big week in regards to superhero trailers. We had, of course, the monster trailer with Avengers. We had a Captain Marvel trailer as well, and we had even details about a Spider-Man trailer that we thought we were going to get this week, but ended up getting pushed back.
Yeah, that one got pushed back, but I don't mind because we got so much this week.
Right.
I mean, we got that Fire Captain Marvel trailer, which was the second trailer. So that's like probably the last big trailer we're going to see before the movie comes out. And we got the first teaser for Avengers. Avengers Endgame, which we now have the trailer and the title drop, which is almost as big as the trailer, which is strange. But yeah, this is a huge week, so I'm really excited to talk about it.
All right, like I said, Kendall's with us as well. So Kendall, thank you for joining us here, even though you're not here with us in studio. Excited to have you on, Kendall. What do you got? What are you excited to talk about this week?
Yeah, I'm here in spirit. Hopefully you put one of those little, pictures of me. Every time I talk, this is on the phone, Kendall Stewart. No,
yeah, we'll figure something out with that.
But yeah, no, I mean, obviously this Avengers 4 trailer. There's a lot of speculation on when it was going to come out. I mean, we've been talking about it for about a month now, on the exact date. And look, the people at Super Bro Movies and MCU Cosmic, not huge outlets in the industry, not huge outlets in Hollywood. They were the guys that nailed down this trailer date, so I got to give them credit for that. So, Jeremy Conrad, Daniel RPK, these guys, they didn't sell us short. They even said we were getting a Spider-Man trailer on the day that it was released. Not released, but unveiled. So clearly their sources are somewhat correct, even if we didn't get a Spider-Man trailer to the masses. So excited to talk about this Avengers trailer because that's going to be huge.
Yeah, shout out to those guys. Shout out to independent media. We're independent media, so definitely shout out to the MCU Cosmic, Super Movie Bro people who were able to get those scoops on the trailer dates. Turned out to be pretty much completely accurate, especially in regards to Avengers. So we're going to begin the show, of course, talking about the Avengers Endgame trailer, our first trailer. I don't know if there's ever been, for the superhero movie stuff that we've been following since we've been doing this podcast, if there's been more like frustration, anticipation, at times it felt like rage from some people on social media about the release of a trailer, of when it was going to happen, why it was taking so long. We're getting it in December, and that is pretty close to for a movie that's coming out in April for it to be a first trailer. To me, the only movie I think of recently that had this long of a time between release date and trailer first trailer release was Logan, which we talked about often on our show about was that movie even happening, what was going on.
Right.
But we finally got it. It's a very interesting trailer. The trailer is very dark in tone. It's a very doom and gloom trailer. It kind of sets the stage of what the world is like now that Thanos has indeed won after what we saw from Avengers Infinity War. And that should, before I even continue, say, of course, if you have not seen the trailer, I don't know how you have not seen the trailer at this point, but if you have not seen the trailer and you don't want to be spoiled, then this is probably not the part of the podcast you want to listen to, because we're going to talk about this trailer in depth here. But this trailer really sets the setting for what the world is like now that Thanos is gone. We see at the beginning Tony Stark pretty much in a really desperate state. He's floating out in the middle of space, no food, no water, oxygen's going soon. Pretty much sending his last message to Pepper through his Iron Man helmet. It's pretty tough to see. This is a guy that this is Marvel Studios 10 years. He started all of this, and then to see him in this movie, in this trailer, start off in such a dire strait, it doesn't look very, very positive for him moving forward. And then the rest of the heroes are also down on their luck. We see Steve Rogers in tears about losing his friends. We see him and Natasha kind of going over the fact that they failed in their efforts to try to stop Thanos. So a lot to take away from this trailer. Shamar, I want to get your input here. What did you think of the Avengers Endgame trailer?
I thought it was great. I think it was very much a teaser. Mm-hmm. Didn't show that much. Showed very little. But I think what they wanted to do was set the tone of at least the beginning of the movie. I think that's what we got from this trailer, was that this is what the tone is going to be when this movie starts. We lost. Tony's in trouble because he's not even on Earth. Yeah. And it's just a bad situation all around. And they have to come up with some kind of plan to fix it. And these are the people that are in the movie, and it's Avengers Endgame. That's basically what we got from the trailer. But I thought it was well cut. Everyone looks great. Of course, you don't see much because they don't show much. They just show shots of people, but they look good in their roles. And it is, it did its job in that it has me excited for the movie. Now it's just, I see this trailer now. I'm like, all right, when's the second trailer coming out? Because I want to see more. That's how they get you.
Kendall, what did you make of the Avengers Endgame trailer? Did you like the trailer? Do you like the title Endgame? What were your first impressions of it?
Well, yeah, obviously there was a lot of speculation on. It was all the speculation basically was on the title, what the title was going to be. But even beyond what the title was going to be, how would they deal with the release of the title? Because we had gone obviously a very long time without a title. And the speculation was, are they going to unveil the title with the trailer? Because that's almost never been done before, at least for movies of this magnitude in this era, where we don't know the title of a movie before the trailer is released. And that, to my knowledge, this may have been the first time this happened, where they were just like, nah, even the video is just Marvel Studios Avengers. And then you see the title at the end. I was confused. I was like, are we really just calling this Avengers again?
Yeah. At first I was like, wow, there's just no.
I was like, that's
I knew we were gonna get a title when they did it. I just didn't. It took a long time for it to develop, but eventually we did get it.
That's all Endgame. All right, that makes sense. But now, see, whenever something like this happens, I always go back to the people that claim they had their sources that said it was Annihilation, without a doubt. Now I know those people, sure. Their sources. I'm not saying they have no sources, but their sources are shaky. If he said it was Annihilation. But, the trailer, I told you guys beforehand, I had to watch it again because I only watched that trailer one time because that's not something I could watch like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times. There are some trailers, like the Infinity War trailer, I watched that one like at least 50, probably 50 plus times, like over the span of like up until now. But even like in the first week, I probably watched it 10 plus times, plus different parodies of it. It's a great trailer, obviously. But this one, it's very, obviously, like you said, it's doom and gloom, but it's very bare in terms of like what's in it. They don't show you much. They don't tell you much. It's kind of just a rehash of what happened in Infinity War and where we're kind of left off. And that's honestly the only thing you can do without spoiling anything or without like giving away plot detail that they don't want to give away at this stage. So, yeah, they did the job. But overall, I thought it was a very good trailer for what they were trying to do.
Yeah, to me, I thought that this was not a trailer that they could give us a lot on. A first trailer for a movie that ends on such a crazy cliffhanger. I don't know if that's a movie I want to now see. Okay, how are they going to fix all this? Where are the fight scenes and stuff? I think this is a trailer where you kind of do have to set the mood for what the ramifications were for what happened. They made one of the more ambitious, drastic changes to their universe that they've ever done in any of their movies with how they finished the last one. So I think it was smart for them not to give us so much, kind of just set the tone of what the adventure will be. And I think they kind of ended it smart by having Ant-Man come in out of nowhere as, like, we know he's a comedic character. He's the only bit of humor in any of that trailer. I think it was smart for him to kind of come in late with kind of like that, almost to be that glimmer of hope, like I kind of said in our YouTube video that I did on my own when I was in New York, that, like, you see the trailers, it's all negative, everything's terrible. Steve is talking about a plan that we're not quite sure what that is yet. That if it doesn't work, then they're definitely screwed. So it's a very, very pessimistic trailer, and for Ant-Man to come in, seemingly having some very important information that can maybe change the landscape of things. I thought his insertion at the end was possibly going to be. I think that he's probably going to be the beginning of the next trailer. So whatever his situation is, I think that they'll probably start the next trailer with him maybe kind of explaining something in regards to the plot. Because we didn't get much plot here. We don't know how they're going to attack Thanos. We don't know. Really, we know the world's in a bad state, but we don't really know beyond just the heroes what the ramifications were for what Thanos did. We just know that Parker is missing. We learned that Shuri's missing. That was something that we were not expecting because of what we heard from the director saying that she survived the snap. It appears maybe she did not, or is she on the run? Who knows?
They didn't say that she survived it, right? They just said we couldn't say because it's a spoiler.
I thought they said she did, but I see other.
I remember.
I seen other people say that she did.
At the time, we were like, "Well, if it's a spoiler, then she can't be probably not dead." Because some people they were just like, "Oh, they're dead, they're dead." But with Shuri, it was like, "Oh, we can't say it's a spoiler." So we were like, "Oh, so I guess
that could be it." I know I've seen people on Twitter say that they said she did, but I have to double check that.
Yeah, to my knowledge, I feel like the Shuri Easter egg that was dropped in the trailer that we picked up on. Was probably about the only thing we really learned in this trailer. There's that, and then you could also throw in the Hawkeye kind of Ronin reveal, considering we had kind of already known about it. There were leaked images, concept art, so like we were very much expecting it, but we hadn't gotten official word from Marvel about it yet until this trailer. So there's also that to look at.
Shamar, what did you make of the Ronin reveal? That was something that had been talked about a lot over the last 2 or 3 years, really. Right. This was our first official introduction to him. I'm sure for a lot of people who aren't familiar with the character, they probably like, what the heck is he wearing, or has been following the news. But that was something that we were expecting to see, and we got it in this trailer.
Yeah, I thought it was a good reveal. I think that, like you were saying, we've been hearing about Ronin, and we had seen his costume even in these leaked photos of him walking around in the Ronin costume.
Yeah.
But, but it's nice to have seen him in the trailer. I think it's good. I think for a lot of people that, aren't like us and they don't follow all these stories, they're probably wondering what happened to him or wondering where he was. So I think that this...
Look, he was in Japan in that
yeah,
trailer.
It did. It definitely very much did, which is cool. So I'm interested to learn more about that as well. I think it'll bring some much needed life to the Hawkeye character in this in the MCU, basically, in the Avengers. Another thing I wanted to note is the lack of Captain Marvel in this trailer. There was a lack of a lot in this trailer. Like I said, there wasn't much in the actual trailer, but Captain Marvel was noticeably absent.
Yeah.
So why do you guys think that is?
Yeah, I mean, the Captain Marvel thing was a little surprising to me. Someone made a good point. I was talking to a friend at work, and she mentioned that, we had just seen Captain Marvel Monday.
Right.
So would that have been kind of weird to have a trailer for one movie and then have her in another movie? We don't even know what that first movie, like how that's all going to shake out. So that was a fair point. That made sense. I think eventually we'll see her in a trailer, but maybe for trailers that were being released so soon, close to each other, that might not have made sense. My impression, I think that she's gonna be the person that saves Tony. I think that she's gonna come from outer space, and she's gonna get him out of that predicament that he's in. I've seen some people make the case that Tony's gonna die in that scene, in those, like, that's his end. That just seems terribly
They wouldn't
sad.
show that.
I don't know. I just feel like that would be like the worst way for like a great character to go. I mean, it would be realistic, but I mean, like, I feel like he deserves better than that. What Robert Downey has given to Marvel, just be killed off, floating out in space. That's not. His story's not going to end that way. But I think it speaks to like how well a job they did in regards to making that situation seem as desperate as it was, to the point where some people were like, he's not making it. That's it.
Right.
Gamora's there. She's gonna survive because she's a robot, so she doesn't need oxygen. Nebula, I'm sorry. Yeah, Nebula's gonna survive because she's a robot. It doesn't matter with her. But with Tony, that's his end. I don't necessarily buy that, but I think that Captain Marvel It was strategic by them. I think it was a good point by my friend. I think I agree. That might have been overkill to have her now in this trailer often. I also feel like I still feel like she's the cavalry. I know they kind of painted this trailer with like Ant-Man being the cavalry, but I think that's kind of like their misdirection because everyone's expecting Captain Marvel to come in. Now here, at least it creates some questions. I still think she's gonna be the person that takes out Thanos.
Yeah, I definitely think that that's possible. I think it's going to be a combination of both. Because I think Ant-Man kind of brings that whole quantum realm knowledge with him. I think that's going to be invaluable also.
Yeah, I think he probably, if those people who floated away into dust are in the soul world, which has been speculated, then I think he may be going there to say, hey, your friends are not dead, like they're alive, but we need to save them because of whatever the situation is. I don't know, Kendall, what did you make about the omission of Captain Marvel and also the inclusion of Ant-Man and what he's going to bring to the table?
Yeah, I mean, it's not a coincidence that Captain Marvel was not featured in this trailer, considering her movie's coming out, and the trailer to her movie dropped, a couple days prior or earlier in the week. So, I feel like just from a marketing perspective, I don't think they wanted to double down on that Captain Marvel character. Because there are some people that won't realize Captain Marvel is going to be in Infinity or in Endgame, So, like,
yeah,
whether or not they really want that mystery, or I don't know if they're going to, before Captain Marvel comes out, like, officially, like, unveil her in the marketing for Endgame as a way to boost the Captain Marvel box office a little bit. That seems like that would be the smart thing to do. But at the same time, maybe they feel like just from a story perspective, they would prefer if they allow Captain Marvel to get a chance to tell her own story before she is then really thrust into the Infinity War. I keep saying Infinity War. The Endgame battle. Because for all we know, the ending of, and I think we all kind of expect, similar to Captain America, that the ending of Captain Marvel will probably directly tie into what's happening in Endgame. So
yeah, especially because of the proximity of the movies being pretty much a month apart from each other, a month and a half apart from each other.
Exactly.
That would make sense that if it did lead directly into a Captain Marvel appearance, into into the Avengers Endgame situation. We saw very little of Thanos in this. The shot we see of him is him walking in a garden with the Infinity Gauntlet. He's not wearing his uniform. His uniform's hanging up like a scarecrow, which is a really dope play on what he actually did in the comic books. The Infinity Gauntlet comic, he hangs up his armor as a scarecrow. And to see him do that in a similar way in the movie was really awesome. I said it in the in the video. I thought it was almost like a statue, and I thought, well, is that the statue that's replacing Wakanda's Black Panther statue? Which would have made sense. He ended the world essentially in Wakanda. It would make sense that if he would have made that place his new hub or his new home. It has vibranium. It has the high end technology. And he very well could be there. Who knows? I've heard people say maybe he's on a whole different planet. But I thought that's a pretty awesome stunt. I saw someone tweet Kendall and Sham that him hanging up his armor like that was like him like posting 50 on LeBron and then hanging up his jersey in the rafters. I saw side by side shots of like Jordan's 23 hanging up in the United Center and Thanos's armor.
That's crazy.
Hanging up whoever he is in Wakanda or some other planet. But that was a pretty crazy shot. To me, that was almost that might have been the best shot of the trailer to me. Because like, what a way to like establish who runs things in this new world. Then having Thanos literally posted up his armor like that, it was pretty crazy.
Yeah, I think so as well. That was definitely a really good shot. It was just very, it's kind of chilling.
Yeah.
Considering what he just did. And I'm just wondering where that is. Cause it's just
I'm curious.
Just a grassy plain, but that could be anywhere.
Yeah, no, I'm curious about it. Kendall, what did you make of Thanos' appearance here?
Yeah, or like you said, life thereof. You know, he doesn't make a huge impact in the trailer, but also I think that's kind of intentional. Like Thanos will play. I mean, obviously he's gonna play a big role in this movie, but like he kind of already did what he wanted to do, and he did what he had to do. So I don't think we're gonna get like I don't think we'll get as much Thanos as we got in the last movie. Um, I think this movie will be a lot more of like the Avengers, the original Avengers, doing what they have to do to stop Thanos and stop what's already happened and reverse what's ever happened. But like at this point, what else is there to show with Thanos, or what else is there to discuss besides whatever universe that he was looking to create, whatever universe he ended up creating. So in this trailer, I think this trailer will ultimately kind of reflect Thanos's not his entire role in the movie, but some of what his role in the movie will be, which will be I think a little more limited than it was in Infinity War. I mean, Infinity War, a lot of people looked at that as like almost a Thanos movie. That's how
Right.
much backstory we got. That's how much the movie was kind of told from his point of view. But I think that'll change a lot in this next movie.
Yeah, that's something that the Russos said that Infinity War is like a Thanos movie in their eyes. I saw something saying that they thought they tangled with the idea of possibly having Thanos narrate the trailer, which would have been very fascinating considering how they told it. Because this trailer has no narration. It's almost all like it has narration, but like it's almost all like you have a scene with Tony Stark. Then a lot of it is like exposition from actual scenes. It's not like
Right.
him, not like someone going on some monologue. So that's like surprising, like how they could have even got to like having one idea of Thanos narrating, kind of like similar to me of probably what we saw from the Age of Ultron trailer with Ultron narrating, which was awesome. But that was a scene, but it worked with like the other shots that they put together, and making it him basically telling the story of the trailer, which I think was the first one for Ultron. They decided not to do that for this, but I think that could have also worked as well.
But yeah, another thing that I actually that I think is well, actually, first to note on what you said, Thanos narrated the first Infinity War trailer.
Yes, yeah,
Which,
he did.
Which I think that may also say something about what we should expect from this movie, because, like Kendall said, Infinity War was a Thanos movie. It was Thanos' story. So I'm wondering if Avengers 4 is going to be kind of like that. I kind of hope it isn't, which goes into what I was going to say, which is I would hope that this movie is like of course I want a lot of action in it. I always want a lot of action in all these movies, but I also
Leave T'Challa alone,
Yeah,
man. He's already had enough.
I can't touch Wakanda.
Yeah. This might be dust in a couple of seconds, man.
But yeah, I kind of want this movie to be more focused on how they reverse the snap.
Yeah.
Whatever they do, whether it's time travel, quantum realm travel, whatever they got to do, I'm thinking we're gonna see some craziness in this movie. Things that are just gonna blow us away. So I'm kind of more interested in that part, and then getting other people like Captain Marvel involved and seeing how they interact, how she interacts with the other Avengers, and how they kind of form this new Avengers team post Phase 3. So whatever this new Avengers team is going to be going forward,
Right.
I feel like that's going to be established in this movie.
Yeah, I think it's funny because I remember when the Russos first talked about Infinity War. I don't know if it was the Russos, maybe it was just people kind of whispering what the movie was like. But I think the Russos also said they described it as a heist movie. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
Or Kendall, you remember that? I wouldn't describe it as that. To me, it's more like stopping a freight train or trying to.
Yeah.
Like I get what they're saying. Like, oh, Thanos is going these places to get these stones, but like it's not. He's not like he's not like, oh, I'm gonna have this underhanded way twirling mustache.
Yeah.
Okay, he's just like punching
Just
people in the
showing
mouth
and taking things.
You know what I'm saying? It's not there's no smoke and mirrors what he
there's
was
no
doing. He was
espionage,
just pulling up places and punching people in the mouth. Where I think that this movie actually will play out more like a heist movie than maybe what was rumored about what Infinity War was going to be. I agree that I think that this movie can't be just them punching Thanos for 2 hours. One, they would lose that fight. Two, I don't know if that makes sense from a storytelling standpoint. When that kind of was what we saw in the last movie, I think this next movie has to be more of. I think you're going to see more of, and I think it should be more of the idea of them kind of piecing together the plan to then actually execute it. I expect them to kind of have multiple steps of putting together the plan to then maybe in the third act then try to execute the plan against Thanos.
Right.
I think they're gonna hit other roadblocks along the way in crafting whatever they're trying to craft to then eventually take out Thanos in the end. But it's gonna take us a while to get there. So I expect that the heights element may be more prevalent in this movie with them trying to, put these pieces together in this plan to make sense.
I'm gonna go out on a limb, so I'm gonna make a connection with one of the latest CW episodes of The Flash. So if you haven't seen that episode, you may want to plug your ears. But they were going back in time and facing different villains and stuff. I feel like you might see something similar with this. And they may go back to Ultron.
Wow.
And they may go back to Ronin,
Loki and
Ronin and Avengers,
Ronin wasn't
Ronin was Guardians, but Loki. We'll go back to Loki
and the Chitauri
and the Chitauri, and like they may
Washington DC.
Yeah, they may go back to DC,
Germany,
with Hydra. Yeah, I mean,
that would be crazy. I haven't heard anyone come up with that theory, so that'd be the first time.
So I'm thinking we may get something like that even.
Because all the stuff about time travel we've heard has been more related to what we saw in Infinity War, like them changing things about Infinity War. Every theory I've seen, that would be a much larger type of time travel that we haven't seen yet. That would be pretty crazy. I don't know if I know that's going to happen, or if I think that's going to happen, but that would be a crazy story,
right? If
they went that route. What do you think, Kendall, about where this movie's headed?
Well, like I said, I mean, it's definitely going to be a lot about the original Avengers squad, plus Captain Marvel, and I guess Nebula. We didn't see Rocket in this trailer at all.
No, he survived.
But yeah, he's around, so we'll see what role he plays in this movie. But I do wonder about, like, we know there's a time travel element based off of set photos and things of that nature.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, I mean, they didn't hint at it at all in this trailer. But I mean, Captain Marvel takes place in the 90s. Not saying that she's necessarily a time traveler. She could just not age or things of that nature. But the fact that we're going to be going back to the Avengers, like Shamari said, does make you wonder. And then we also can't forget about the whole future Avengers potential with, like, Cassie Lang being in this movie.
Yeah, we have some. Yeah.
Harley Keener reportedly being in this movie. Like, so where are those characters even come into play in this movie? 'Cause right now they focus primarily on and solely on the whole Thanos Dust storyline, Snap storyline. They haven't hinted at Captain Marvel, haven't hinted at time travel, and those are two things that we know almost for a fact will play major roles in this movie.
Yeah. So yeah, I definitely think you're right about that, Kendall. I think we're gonna get that future element, and I mean, I think there's just gonna be so much in this movie. Like, aren't we supposed to be getting, like, Pepper in her Iron Man?
Yeah, that's been. I don't know if it's been rumor or if it's ever been confirmed.
I feel like from what I understood, it was like a rumor.
Yeah, but I've heard rumors about Pepper getting in the suit.
So I feel like we're just gonna. There's just so much that we just don't know.
And to me, this trailer kind of told me that, like, I really hope they don't just give out the goods. I think this could be a very unique project where they don't tell you much of anything. I kind of hope I expect to get more from Scott Lang, but after that, I don't really want much more from these trailers. Like, this is a movie that it's so predicated on not knowing what's gonna happen that I think that there was jokes about what if they just didn't do a trailer? We talked about it last week. What if they just never did a trailer and would people not show up? Of course they would show up. I hope that as they move forward with their marketing campaign, that they don't decide to give out a lot. I hope that they really cut these trailers smart and making sure that pretty much no plot is given. You don't need it. The name Avengers and the actors that are in the movie, that's all you need to sell tickets for this. They don't need this crazy marketing campaign. They don't need a Suicide Squad marketing campaign where you see the entire movie in every trailer you see in order for this to sell. So I think they have an opportunity to really show us almost nothing and still get me to the movie theater. I hope they take it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, same. I mean, I know there's a lot of people out there that are just no trailer people.
Yeah.
I'm not going to watch any trailers or any promotional material, nothing. I just want to go to the movie, which I can't do that. But
I could try that and I would fail in a day.
I don't
or
I don't even
in 5 hours. I'd be like, no, I can't do it. I got to watch it.
Yeah, especially with these movies. But yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I don't need to see that much. I just want to see, kind of like what we got in this trailer, but hopefully with just more characters in it.
Yeah.
Just setting the stage of what is the tone of this movie going to be. And then just show me what you have.
Yeah. Kendall, any last thoughts before we move on here?
Yeah, I mean, I do think the next trailer that we see is going to be, I think it's going to be wild.
You think there's going to be more to it than than what we're saying?
I think we'll get Captain Marvel because this movie at the end of the day it's trying to make money.
Yeah.
It's like I forgot what other movie. Oh well, I think was it Civil War where we kept talking about are they even going to show Spider-Man or are they going to wait?
Yeah.
They're going to show Spider-Man.
Yeah, you're right about that one.
They want to make money. They're not stupid. So I feel like they're going to show Captain Marvel. They're going to. I don't know if they're going to spoil the whole time travel. I mean, I don't say it's a spoiler. Maybe it's a spoiler, depending on how much you read into this stuff. But I don't know if they're going to really delve into the time travel aspect or things of that nature. But, if there are certain characters in this movie, they're not going to shy away from... Now, I don't think they'll show you Spider-Man or, Black Panther. The character is supposed to be dead. We won't see anything of. But someone like Captain Marvel, I do expect to see in the next trailer fairly prominently. And I think we'll see a lot more action sequences in the next trailer as well.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how it all shakes out. I mean, that's what's crazy about this is that it could really go either way. Marvel really has everyone on their heels in regards to how they're going to play this. We all know it's got to get fixed in some way. I, for one, think that the way the Avengers Lego logo came out in the reveal of the title and how if you notice the A, even though it comes together from the dust particles that were separated, it's not complete. It's broken. It has holes in it. I think that's indicative of what that Marvel world's going to be like. I think that there's going to be a reset, so to speak, after this movie that's going to kind of reset the world. So I think that it brings excitement because we talk about what's going to be in trailers. You don't really know because the storyline, I think, can end up being very drastically changed by the time we're all said and done with Avengers Endgame. But we all enjoyed this trailer. We're looking forward to seeing how it all shakes out. Hey guys, if you enjoyed this podcast segment, be sure to check out all of our shows on the New Generation Podcast Network on SoundCloud, iTunes, and Stitcher.